Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. Today we're looking at Psalm 97, verses 3 through 5 for some more organic and artisanal Bible study. Don't forget now, we just got placed onto Stitcher Radio. So Stitcher Radio is now distributing Daily Dose Radio. If you haven't checked them out yet, go over there, Stitcher.com, and you'll find Daily Dose Radio listed there under Spirituality and Religion. You can listen to them over the internet, or you can get their app. They have mobile apps. And I'm sure you'll find other things there that you enjoy as well. There's some other great ministries on Stitcher.com. Looking at verses 3 through 5 today, still in the first section, the Lord and the earth. Let me read for you verse 3. A fire goeth before him, and burneth up his enemies round about. His lightnings enlightened the world. The earth saw and trembled. The hills melted like wax at the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the Lord of the whole earth. Again, the theme here is the Lord and his relationship to the earth. The earth is rejoicing. Why? Because righteousness and judgment are the habitation of his throne, and because their Maker reigns as king over all things. I mentioned yesterday the apocalyptic nature of the language here. Clouds and darkness around about him, that's verse 2. Notice today, verse 3, a fire goeth before him. His lightnings enlighten the world. The hills melted like wax at the presence of the Lord. So, you see this apocalyptic language is still being carried forward. If you want more of that kind of language, look in the book of Revelation. You can look in the book of Daniel, especially chapter 7. You can look in the book of Ezekiel, the first several chapters of Ezekiel. You'll find this apocalyptic language. You can look in Isaiah, that's in pieces in Isaiah. So this idea that there's fire, darkness, light, lightnings, melting going on because of the fire. So his holy presence has an effect on the world, which is part of the theme of this first section. And the world is rejoicing because the Lord of the whole earth has a presence with them. His fire goes before him. It burns up his enemies because he comes in righteousness and judgment. Remember, those are ensconced in the throne. That's the habitation. The throne is their habitation. So the enemies are enemies that will not be found in righteousness and judgment. They will be consumed. This lends us again to the idea of hell. For those that have opposed the Lord, for those who have rejected him, there is nothing for them except the condemnation of this fire, the fire that goes before him and burns up the enemies. There is going to be a great conflagration in the life of those who have rejected the Lord, in this life as well as in the next. You really need to consider calling on him and repenting of your sin. His lightnings enlightened the world. The earth saw and trembled. So there's a revelation of him as being a God who brings light. The earth saw it and trembled. What about man? Well, we're going to find out about the Lord and the people in the next section. We'll pick that up beginning tomorrow. The hills melted like wax at the presence of the Lord. Again, more of that apocalyptic language. And at the presence of the Lord of the whole earth. So he is the one who is standing there creating justice and judgment for his people. And there's a reaction, there's a physical happening that takes place because of his very presence. You know what? There still is a physical happening that takes place, a reaction that takes place because of his very presence. And yet, even though this is happening, the earth is rejoicing because of the presence of the Lord, because he reigns. He's king. And the earth is being treated almost like a courtier. He's in the court. The earth is in the court of the Lord. And all these things are happening. And the earth is celebrating the very presence of our God. Now we'll pick up with verse 5 tomorrow. Verse 5 is like a link in a chain. it actually serves double duty and is the first part of the second section, the Lord and the people. And we'll talk about that tomorrow on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.